Something's brewing in the Raiders camp, and if you're a true fan, you're going to want to hear every word. Let's jump into the biggest questions facing the Las Vegas Raiders right now. And yes, we're talking about the possible return of Damon Arnette to the NFL. That story will wrap up today's update, but first, there's something else heating up. Before we get to the latest Raiders moves, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a single update on your favorite team. Let's get into the new news. Latest Raiders talk: who's locking down the right guard spot? The battle on the offensive line is getting intense. There's buzz around Alex Cappa. Is he going to be the starting right guard this season for the Silver and Black? Right now, it's a toss-up, a real 50-50 shot. Cappa has experience and connections with the coaching staff. That matters. He signed a 2-year deal earlier this offseason, and with his history under this regime, it's no surprise he's seen as the early favorite. But don't count out the competition. Dylan Parham and Jordan Meredith both made impressions last season. Still, when a new staff steps in, they often bring in their guys, and Cappa fits that bill. But here's the key: experience. Cappa has more snaps under his belt than anyone else in that position group. That's huge. What's holding him back? Injuries. He's had a few over the past couple of seasons, and now he has to show he can stay healthy and consistent. This decision could go either way. But if Cappa shows he's still got it during camp, don't be surprised if he's the one lining up as the starter. Raiders O-line showdown. The battle for guard begins. It's shaping up to be one of the fiercest position battles in Raiders camp. The fight for the starting guard spots. 4 names, 1 goal. Who's going to earn their place on the front line? The Raiders' offensive line coach has a challenge on his hands, but it's the kind of challenge teams dream about. Caleb Rogers, Alex Cappa, Dylan Parham, and Jordan Meredith are all in the mix. Each one brings something different, and this battle is going to define the strength of the line this season. Let's lay out what we're likely to see. JPJ is expected to hold it down at center. He's confident, and by the way he's been talking to teammates, he already sees himself as the guy. DJ Glaze looks solid at right tackle, and Colton Miller remains a rock on the left side. So, the real question? Who fills the gaps in between? Right now, the favorite at right guard seems to be Alex Cappa. But here's the honest truth. That makes a lot of fans uneasy, and for good reason. Last season, Cappa struggled. We're talking 8 sacks allowed, the most by any starting offensive lineman. He also gave up 36 quarterback hurries, and his overall performance was graded poorly in both pass and run protection. It wasn't just a rough patch, it was a rough season. Sure, there's a new coaching staff. Sure, they might believe they can revive his game, but fans can't forget what they saw, and the tape doesn't lie. If Cappa doesn't step up, it could seriously impact the offense. It could stunt the growth of young talent like DJ Glaze, it could put pressure on the running game, and more importantly, it could hurt Geno Smith, who already took too many hits from inside last season. This battle isn't just about who's the best man for the job, it's about protecting the quarterback, opening lanes for the run game, and setting the tone for the season. And right now, that spotlight is shining directly on Cappa. Raiders O-line concerns. Can Alex Cappa stay on the field? When it comes to building a tough, reliable offensive line, one thing matters just as much as talent: health. And with Alex Cappa, that's where the questions start. Sure, he's known as a warrior. He fights through pain, suits up, and gives it everything. But playing through injury isn't the same as playing at your best. Cappa has been battling lingering issues for a while now. A nagging ankle injury that just won't fully heal, knee problems, hamstring tightness, and a general list of lower body setbacks that keep stacking up. Even though he's only missed 1 regular season game, it's clear he's been far from 100%. And when the wear and tear adds up, it doesn't just slow him down. It weakens the entire offensive line. For a team looking to make noise late in the season, you need your linemen to be reliable in December and January, not just in Week 1. and history shows that's when Cappa tends to break down. He's managed to stay on the field, yes, but has he really been healthy when it matters most? Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Raiders made Cappa one of their earliest signings in free agency, and that's telling. When a new regime targets a player right away, they're usually signaling something loud and clear. We see this guy as a starter. But with his recent performance and his injury history, that early investment might raise eyebrows. Was it a smart move or a risky one? So here's the real question for Raider Nation. How confident are you in Alex Cappa? Is he the answer at guard, or just another temporary patch on a position that desperately needs stability? The battle isn't just on the field. It's in the decisions that shape this roster, and right now, the pressure's on. Alex Cappa's role: depth piece or risky starter? Let's be honest. If Alex Cappa is just a depth piece for the Raiders, a solid backup, or rotational guard, that feels like a smart move. That's an 8 out of 10 decision. A seasoned veteran who can step in when needed, help young guys grow, and bring a little toughness to the trenches, that's valuable. But if he's being handed the starting job, that's where it gets shaky. At best, it's a 3 out of 10, and even that might be generous. Here's the thing. There's still hope this can work. BA new offensive system, possibly better suited to his style. A fresh start with Chip Kelly calling the shots. Maybe those past struggles were more about nagging injuries or being stuck in a scheme that didn't fit his game. Now, he's got something to prove. Again. He's playing on a short deal. 1 year, he knows every snap counts, and that pressure can either break a player or bring out their best. Even more important, he's not alone. Cappa's presence brings competition to a group of young, hungry linemen. You've got 2 rookies trying to make a name for themselves, Dylan Parham, and a contract year Jordan Meredith fighting for reps. That kind of battle? It sharpens everyone. Whether or not Cappa starts, the Raiders' O-line is going to grow from this fire. Now, there's another name to keep an eye on: Thayer Munford. He's flown under the radar for a while, but his name keeps coming up. The truth? His roster spot isn't locked in. He's got potential, no doubt, but this coaching staff has shown they're not afraid to move on from players who don't fit their vision. There's a real chance Munford could be cut. It all depends on how he performs in camp and whether he can stand out in a crowded competition. So, as the Raiders shape their offensive front, keep your eyes on the details. Who earns it? Who gets passed up? And who turns pressure into performance? The trenches are heating up, and the real fight is just beginning. Is Thayer Munford running out of time with the Raiders? Thayer Munford, once seen as a developmental steal, is now facing the harsh reality of an NFL offseason filled with change. And the question on everyone's mind: could he be cut? Let's not sugarcoat it. This is real. The idea that Munford could be on the chopping block isn't some wild rumor. It's a very real possibility, and if you've been watching closely, it shouldn't come as a surprise. Here's why. Munford was a 7th-round pick, and while he's shown flashes, he didn't take the step forward many hoped for last season. On a new-look Raiders offensive line, that matters more than ever. A new regime has come in, reshuffling priorities and bringing in fresh talent with something to prove. The numbers alone tell the story. The Raiders brought in 2 offensive linemen in the draft. They've got young, flexible guys like Jordan Meredith and Dylan Parham. Alex Cappa, for all his flaws, is expected to compete for starting reps. And don't overlook Dalton Wagner, another undrafted talent who's quietly earned respect in the building. When it comes down to roster math, it's simple. If the Raiders only keep 8 offensive linemen, Munford's spot is in real danger. Now, could they trade him instead of cutting him outright? That would be the smart play if the front office has already decided to move on. Get something, anything. Even a late-round conditional pick is better than letting a young lineman walk for free. But let's keep it real. This isn't just about Munford being bad. It's also about who's rising behind him. The emergence of DJ Glaze might be the biggest factor. Glaze has impressed early, showing the versatility and raw strength that this staff loves. When the Raiders drafted him, the message was clear. They want competition. And between Glaze and Munford, the winner could very well lock down a future starting job. The truth is this. If Munford doesn't turn heads in camp and prove he can be more than a depth piece, his time in silver and black may be nearing its end. This is a defining offseason for him. Not just a fight for snaps, but a battle for survival. Damon Arnette. Redemption, or a door, already closed. Damon Arnette. First-round pick. Big expectations. Bigger fallout. And now, a whisper of a comeback. But is anyone in the NFL, especially the Raiders, really listening? Arnette recently resurfaced with a bold claim. That he's not just better, he's finally professional. According to him, the fire is still there, but now it's tempered by maturity and control. His words paint the picture of a man who has seen the edge and clawed his way back. But for the Raiders and their fans, it's not just about what he says, it's about what we've seen, and what we remember. Let's rewind. Arnette was taken 19th overall in the 2020 draft, a pick that raised eyebrows from the start. Many analysts had him graded as a Day 2 talent, not a first-rounder. His on-field play was inconsistent, and off-field concerns quickly snowballed into headlines no team wants to see. By 2021, the Raiders had seen enough. They released him following multiple legal issues and conduct violations. He briefly landed with the Chiefs in 2022, but never saw meaningful snaps again in the NFL. Now he's 28, about to turn 29, and trying to break back in. But here's the cold truth. In a league obsessed with youth, upside, and locker room harmony, Arnette's time may have run out. Talent alone doesn't cut it anymore. Teams don't want just athletes. They want professionals, leaders, and low-risk investments. And for a 29-year-old cornerback who hasn't played a meaningful snap since 2021, the road back is nearly vertical. Even if he has turned a corner personally, it's hard to ignore this fact. The Raiders and the rest of the league have moved on. Maybe Arnette gets a shot in another league or a training camp invitation from a desperate secondary. But if you're asking whether the Raiders should or will consider a reunion, that chapter is closed, and this team is focused on building something stronger, steadier, and smarter than the past mistakes of previous regimes. Damon Arnette and the Raiders, a door that should stay shut. Let's be blunt. If any team even considers giving Damon Arnette another shot, it better not be the Las Vegas Raiders. At one point, Arnette had the physical tools to play at this level. But the truth is, this goes far beyond football. It's about character, accountability, and a track record that keeps getting worse with time. Arnette hasn't just made mistakes, he's repeated them, again and again. People love a redemption story. The NFL, especially, has a long history of players turning their lives around and making a comeback. But in Arnette's case, how many second chances does one player get? We're well past that point. This isn't a redemption arc anymore. It's a cautionary tale. He's made public statements before, vowing that he's changed. He said the same things in 2023, claimed growth and remorse, and then, in 2024, arrested again. Drugs, a firearm, another blow to any lingering belief that he might be ready to return. Here's the bottom line for the Raiders. This organization has moved forward. New leadership, new culture, a commitment to building a roster based on discipline, professionalism, and unity. There's no room for off-field distractions or unstable variables, especially not one with a track record like Arnette's. Even if another team takes that gamble, and that's a big if, the Raiders simply cannot afford to look back. They drafted Arnette. They paid the price. Now, they have to be the franchise that learns from that mistake. Because in this league, it's not just about what a player can do. It's about what a team stands for, and the Raiders need to stand for something better,